Welcome to the second part of this World Eater tutorial. Where we left off, we're going to go ahead and use Leadbelcher, and with this color we're going to color in all of the metallic parts. I'm using a size 2 brush, and I have thinned down the paint with just water a little bit, although any sort of medium goes better with the metallic paints because the metal flakes stay distributed more evenly in the paint, and it helps more than just water, which disperses them a lot more. So just be careful to not paint over the red areas, and try to hit all of the metal parts with this color. Next I'm going to use Balthasar's gold, and with this color I'm going to paint all of the brass areas. I'm still using the size 2 brush, which is a very good brush because it has a fine tip and a lot of paint, so you can use this for all of your base coating. Actually, I think this is the brush I used the most. I didn't use any other brush but an old brush for the first red coat and a fine brush for the ice. So try to be as clean as possible, be patient, and not to paint brass onto the red, and you're good to go. If you do, it's not that difficult to fix, but we would rather not be cleaning up anything. Once that's done, we're going to use Zandri dust for the bone color. Again, thin down with water to 1-to-1 mix, and just start applying it all over the bone parts, as you see here. Next, I'm going to use black, and this color I'm going to use it for the little details that has the miniature here and there. I used to paint this details on green, but I think black is a better color for the World Eaters, for the Khorne demons to have as hair, because green is a little bit too cartoonish, in my opinion. And I'm going to start washing the model next, which is Nuln Oil for the metal parts, the metallic iron parts. And I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade for all of the brass parts and the bone. When you are using the shades or washes, try to just let the wash settle on the crevices and outline your brass colors. Try not to get a ton of it so that it doesn't go into the red, but it's okay if it's like outlining the brass color. Once the washes are dry, I'm going to paint the ice. For that, I'm going to use Caledor Sky, and with a fine brush I'm going to paint the ice. Next, I'm going to use Teclis blue, and this is going to go to the first front part of the lens, about half of it. And then I'm going to use Lothern blue to paint the very front of the lens. Next, I'm going to start highlighting the iron parts with iron breaker, and I'm going to use the same size 2 brush just to edge highlight and highlight all of the places where the iron parts gets hit by light. Next, I'm going to use brass scorpion as the first highlight for the brass color. I'm going to use it almost on all of the parts where we painted with Balthasar gold, just on the very recesses where you can see crevices and stuff like that. You can just leave them as they are, but most of the other parts I'm going to paint them with the brass scorpion. Next, I'm going to use Runelord brass, and this is the final highlight for the brass areas. This is only used on the very tips, the upper parts of the brass color, where you can see light reflecting, and also the places that you would like to enhance the brightness on, like very sharp edges and stuff like that. It's very arbitrary the way I highlight. It's not really a rule of thumb, but the places that I think that would use a good highlight, I just highlight them. Next, I'm going to use Screaming Skull with a dry brush to paint the bone areas, the horns. It's very important that you do a good dry brush, a very dry brush, so that you can bring up the texture of the bone parts. For the rest of the bone parts, I'm going to use just a regular brush with the same color as the Screaming Skull. And it's going to be followed up by white scar. The white scar, I'm going to use it on the very top areas of the bone of the horns, trying to enhance the white, make them look a lot more white than just bone. I think the white contrasts very well the red for Khorne Berzerkers and Khorne demons. Next, I'm going to use Eshin gray, and I'm going to dry brush it on the black little piece of fur here on the bottom of the blade. And that's going to be followed up by Dawnstone. It's going to be the same thing, but just on the very tips. And that's pretty much it. This is the finished model. I hope you liked this tutorial. I really had a lot of fun painting it. It looks pretty cool, and I have a bunch of these World Eaters, Khorne Berzerkers painted on this scheme, and on group they look very nice. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you find it helpful and informative. Please, if you liked the video, please rate the video, comment and subscribe. I really appreciate that, and if you can, just share it around with your friends. Also, you can check my Facebook page for if you want to talk to me or say something. I'm always there listening to your posts. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.